Hello, welcome everyone. This is another video with Michael Sliwinski and
Augusto Pinaud for our book, The iPad Only.
yes, and in this video we'll talk about the fact that when you move to the iPad only and from a traditional computer, from a PC or a Mac, what happens is that you have to rediscover everything. You have to reevaluate everything, how you work, and it's especially important because I think the computers, the PCs and Macs, because they're so powerful and because they have so many windows and everything, we are doing too many things on the computers that we shouldn't be doing. It's like I have this because we can argument. So I can do this and I can fiddle with the file and copy this there and copy this there because I can, because it's so easy, because the Mac can do it, right? But we never question ourselves if we should really be doing this. If we should be really, managing files and managing all this and, fiddling with the files, if this is really our, core competency and this is really our, we should be productive with like that. I don't think so. I think the computers made us lazy. We can do this, we can do that, we can do that. And when you go to the iPad, many things you can do on the iPad that you can do on the computer. And then you start rethinking what and how you should be doing these things. And then you're going to, simplify this, right?
Well, it was that. I remember when I carried the MacBook or the PCs even as my main machine, but I remember that specifically on the MacBook. I got the MacBook and I think it was 160 gigabytes. And when I moved iPad only in 2011, it was already at 750 gigabytes and I didn't fit in there. The interesting thing was that before I moved to the iPad only, I bought a solid state drive of 64 gigabytes for the MacBook and moved everything that I was not really using to external hard drive. And that was the first step where the first time I discovered that I was doing an incredible amount of things that really were not needed to do. And I discovered what I consider one of the most important things of going iPad only. Most people think that you can't go iPad only because the iPad is not powerful enough. And the problem is we are bringing this old assumption of how things should work in our Mac or our PCs, and we want them to work on the iPad. And because there is no mouse and because there is no little windows and all those little things, people think they will not be able to do their work. When my experience is exactly the opposite. Having the ability of have a full screen application for whatever you are working right now, it gives you an incredible amount of power because you get rid of all the distractions. We convince ourselves about all the little windows that we need, but we don't notice how much those little windows really distract you. And how these little windows take away that attention that you need to accomplish the task much faster. And that's part of what we bring for the old PC world. I remember you went to buy a new computer and you look for the most faster, expensive, bigger hard drive. And that's the reason. That's how you buy a PC, and you forgot about the essentials. And I have said about those, and continue being for me battery life, and continue being for me weight. And my upgrades on the PC world were based on those two elements. But after that, then I wanted to make sure it was powerful enough. And why powerful enough? Just because what you described, that because I can argument. I needed to be able to run 3,000 things on the background that I really didn't need at all.
Yeah, and I get lots of complaints when people ask me about my iPad only way and how I've been accomplishing everything on my iPad for more than a year now. And they say, but you cannot install that, or you cannot set up this, or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, but I discovered that I really don't need these things on my iPad. I can set up them differently, and what is funny, I'm really thinking how I'm setting them up, and thanks to that, I'm more productive because I'm just doing the one thing that I should be doing on my iPad, and the rest is happening in the background. But we'll deal with this later because we'll talk about more in another video how how we set up the workflows and how we set this up, how we set up our iPads in that way that they're our front of like the front ends of our computing world, and everything happens like in behind the curtains, right?
Yep, and we will talk more about that and workflows and flows and why focus and more about the little iPads in the future. So this is another video for the iPad Only book.